All that, I saw them promoting it, and it made it feel like it was one of the first games in Mexico.
George, do you know the NFL game tonight
Danny,
in
you
Mexico?
want to find out for us?
I know that there's a Canadian playing in the game, though. That's pretty sick.
There's actually a lot now.
Yeah, Jesse Luketa, he's a D end and outside back for the Cardinals.
I didn't know that. There's a lot of Canadians in the NFL now, though. Hubbard, big bust.
Josh Palmer had a big game.
He's
last
Canadian?
night.
Yeah, 2 TDs, 100 yards.
I saw the
Dude
stats.
snapped last night.
Yeah.
I didn't know he's Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you a big football guy?
Kinda. I played at St. Mike's, but when I say played at St. Mike's, I was actually like a kicker.
Were you?
I was a kicker and punter. Yeah,
Wait,
I know.
were you? Are you a year or 2 years younger than me?
I think 4.
What year are you?
Bro, you were my camp counselor.
I know. I was a 90. What? Oh, I am a 90. What are you?
93.
You're 90. Okay, so we
Oh,
wouldn't
maybe.
play on the same team yet.
Another year. I remember going into that year though, and it was Chris Rossetti and Eddie Houghton.
Yeah, that's my year.
Dude, those guys are disgusting.
Do you know Chris Rossetti still? He's a scout for the Dolphins.
Yeah. His younger
Do you know Rossetti?
Connected them on LinkedIn. I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
Miami Dolphins. I'm like, connect this guy.
Oh,
Because I knew who.
that makes sense.
I knew who he was through Rick. I think I might have met him once way back in the day.
Are you a St. Mike's guy too?
No, I'm not. All my buddies are
Basically,
though.
though.
Yeah.
Through association.
affiliation.
Yeah,
There's a couple of those.
My I don't know. I went to school in Mississauga. My parents wanted when I was in
Which
grade
one?
10. They said, "Do you want to go to a private school instead?" I said, "I don't know. I got my friends here. Like, you can go to St. Mike's or school in Mississauga. I think Mentor maybe." Anyways, didn't end
Wait,
up
they asked you
going.
in grade 10?
I think so. Grade 9. For some reason I went to. Maybe it was grade 9, but I think it was grade 9. I changed schools, and then grade 10 they were like, "Do you want to go to a different school?" Because I think grade 9 I wasn't liking my high school, but then ended up making friends and stuck around. I went to Loyola in Mississauga.
What were they good at?
Baseball. We beat St. Mike's in OFSA one year. Not when I played. The year after I played, and we lost.
So allegedly.
Yeah. No, we had a really good baseball team. We had a bunch of guys get drafted. We played. I think I'm a 90. When I was in grade 11, when I was in grade 10, I think was the year they played at Rogers Center, Skydome at the time, against St. Mike's. I think in the OFSA finals, we had a guy pitching. Guy pitched the championship game for us. He was unbelievable. His name was Eric Ventura. His nickname was Ace Ventura. Sick.
Real original.
That's a
Still an
that's
unbelievable.
If
Imagine
he
that's your
carried the
nickname.
name. If he carried the
especially
name, he
if he's sick.
deserved it.
He was really good. We had a good team, and then I joined the team in I think grade 11 and 12, and we were not bad. We were like won regional and stuff like that, but nothing crazy.
So what you're saying is the team was doing better before you joined.
Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly.
George looked good on the field.
I'm a big like team guy.
Yeah, I
You know?
can co-sign that.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to motivate the boys.
Listen, I know my
agree.
limitations. I can hit I get some bombs in AA, but put me up against like guys throwing 95, I'm probably gonna get lucky,
Yeah.
get a slap single. I'm on the bench firing everyone up, decent arm in the outfield, and that's about it. Got a couple games.
Great men's league.
Yeah, that's all you
center
need. Those are the prime players for men's league. The guys who went on and played like secondary or post-secondary, coming back and playing men's league, like, bro, you're taking this too serious right now.
You're too good.
Getting
Fuck off.
very mad right now.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't what this is about.
Yeah. I wouldn't get mad. I'm competitive, but I wouldn't get mad in men's league. But I'm also that guy that I wasn't super good, but I always had the best gear. So I'm the guy that looked the best in men's league.
Yo, I hear that. I hear that.
The all white pants.
I hear that.
The all white pants, the custom Nike sneakers, or the custom Nike cleats, high tops. Had a DeMarini bat. I was just putting the ball out to the fucking outfield, and that's it, man. That's what I did.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I love that.
George still also, like, when we play men's league, like, every year he's got a new bat, new gloves, new, like...
Gotta look good.
Yeah.
Part of the game is psychological. People don't realize
Big part.
if
A
you
huge
look
part.
like you hit bombs, they're gonna think you hit bombs. They're gonna pitch you differently.
You're in their head.
Ultimately, you're still gonna hit bombs.
That's it. If you warm up like you hit bombs, like that, man, it's
Dude, I
psychological.
would tape my wrist up too, like just for shits. Get there early, sit in the outfield, throwing across the outfield, looking like I got a cannon. No one ran home on me.
I paint or no?
No.
Did you have the flow or no?
No, I had the flow only. Not when I played men's.
The
league,
flow's threatening.
no. Yeah, it is.
You know
It
what I
is.
mean?
Under
Like,
a bucket, popping out.
I think in
Boba
any sport, the flow's threatening.
it is.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, hockey's, like, the best one for that.
Oh,
like,
of
you
course.
see a good flow in hockey, like, just fucking...
Yeah.
You're flying down the ice.
You're
nice.
flocked.
Yeah. No. Anyways, I was that guy in sports, but yeah, I didn't have the physical attributes, but I had the willpower. If I was a little taller, like my brother's 6'1", I think.
He's 6'1".
He's about 6 feet. Yeah, he's tall. He's tall. He's got like he was lanky when he was growing up, but then he filled out in his body. If I had his genes in my family,
You would have gone pro. Would have gone to the show. 200%.
Probably be playing for the Jays for sure.
It's like those kids that are like, if I didn't tear my MCL, boom, I'd be starting center field.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, listen, I'm not that guy, but in fairness, I don't make excuses or that shit. I'm not the guy who's going to be like, oh yeah, back in my day, I could have hit 20 bombs in the show. Like, I'm not delusional. No. What a better chance at going somewhere?
Yeah, you could have had D1 scholar or something if you're a little taller. Maybe D2.
Yeah. I played with a lot of guys who, well, not a lot, a few guys went to St. Mike's. Like Pizarski played.
Yeah,
he was in
remember Marcus Connect?
No.
Yeah, a few guys. Yeah. Anyways, some good dudes, but yeah.
Well, on baseball, how'd you end up hooking up with Manoa?
Honestly, I do this thing where I DM.
That's a good segue.
Where I DM athletes that I know are playing in the city, just because I feel like there's a huge opportunity with just getting them familiar with what there is to do in this space. For the longest time, I feel like Toronto has had this opportunity where it's kind of just been looked down on. I was like, yo, it's Canada. It's not cool.
Yeah.
But if you really kind of like run the numbers, like we've been doing this for a while. Like OVO just did something with Mr. Stoudemire, Mr. Mighty Mouse. And it's just like, look how long ago he came onto the scene, really made a name for Toronto. But once again, we didn't get that much love. VC was killing it. You know, dunk off champ, like Mr. High Flyer, killing it. Toronto get no love. We had T-Mac, no love. You know what I mean? So,
But do you feel like do you think it's more just in basketball and baseball? Because again, we're one of two teams. Or sorry, we're the only Canadian team in both those leagues.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just because of that? Because I feel like in hockey, it's not as Toronto's not as frowned upon.
Yeah, I mean,
Like basketball, I feel like it's almost guaranteed. Like no free agent wants to come to Toronto.
that used to be.
Baseball,
I think it's changed.
That's definitely
basketball changed. Yeah, because
Baseball's
now
also changing.
baseball, I feel like just we've got such a good young core now where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, people don't mind signing, and like we might have this Bellinger signing.
There's a few things that
Bellinger's
I think.
huge.
Yeah, we were just sitting here earlier and I was looking at my phone. I saw it today. There was a rumor, and then I opened my phone and it said breaking news, but I think it was a false, like a not an accurate report. Multi-year deal Bellinger would be huge. But to go back, I think the time I remember when the Toronto sports scene kind of got cool from the athlete perspective, this is an assumption as an outsider, but was when the Raps were getting good. That those few years when Lowry and DeRozan were still early, they were making those runs. They weren't like top of the first and second place yet, but they were like making the playoffs.
Competing.
And the Jays had like Brett Laurie, Batista, all those guys in Encarnacion, and they were coming out to the games, and you would see that they would like post with each other and stuff. So there was that mutual respect.
Lost and Found was fucking on
my
the scene.
God.
Who said it? The Weeknd said it in the song.
That was all around that time. 20,
15, 17.
I'd probably go from like 2014 to 2017. That
2013,
span.
2014, it was the time.
Because then we also had the All-Star game. That was like the NBA All-Star
2016.
game. That was big.
Yeah. 2016 was a great year. I mean, it was cold as shit that weekend too.
You know how I know it was cold? I'll tell you a story about it. I know it's cold as
left that
shit.
weekend.
Shout out to Lost and Found, good friends. Shout out to Mickey. I think I went that was our spot. Like Ricky and one of our buddies still promoting. We'd go there every Saturday. And All-Star weekend. So basically, like, we go every weekend regardless of what's going on. So you would think that, like, when the good stuff comes, that's when it gets reciprocated. I know how cold it was because I stood outside that club for probably the longest I've ever stood. Not to sound like I've been granted access to everywhere, but stood outside freezing. And it was so cold that I probably waited like 10 minutes. And it was so cold that I didn't even want to wait a minute
felt like
longer.
an hour.
Did you wear a jacket in line?
Yeah.
What's your take on wearing jackets to the club? Do you coat check them, or
okay.
do you need to be cool and not wear a jacket outside?
Well,
Because you waited out there for a while, so were you warm? Did you regret?
No,
it?
I was.
Do you have any second thoughts?
I remember this vividly. I had probably like a park on, and I remember my legs. It was frigid. My legs were freezing, and I lived 10 minutes. I mean, not even. Sorry, a 10-step walk down the street.
Yeah.
And I was waiting, and then I was like, the chance of me getting in the next like 10 more minutes are probably slim. I'm like, I'm done with it. I left.
Yeah.
Left in the bar. You got to wear a jacket in the winter. It's Canada.
Do you think you got cold? Were you wearing pants where they cut off at your ankles and were your ankles nude and exposed? And
He's like, what kind of fashion you got,
In
bro?
the summer, I wear some lower cut pants, but I had probably like full black. I probably was wearing almost the same thing what I'm wearing now. Black jeans, boots, like
All right.
very similar.
Good question though, Danny. Danny, I know you want to say something here. Go
Yes,
chime
I've
in.
lost about 6 winter coats at bars.
Thank you.
And it's stupid because they're all very expensive coats.
Yep.
And I remember one of my friends who was running the club, he literally watched someone walk out with my coat, said, "Hey, that looks like Danny's coat." Next morning, he's like, "Do you have your coat?" I was like, "No, someone took it."
Damn.
Lost out.
Wait, do you coat check though?
Well, so there was like times or like it was like our table, so I didn't. And then someone would come and snatch it. Then I started coat checking, and then someone would take it. Then I would put it in like. Eventually, if I brought a coat, I'd only go to a club or a bar where I knew the owners and they could put it in the back room.
What a subtle flex. I'm
No.
only putting up the clubs where I know the owners.
No, because then I didn't want to wait outside. Then you don't have to wait outside. But now I
One at
stop.
a time. One at a time. We can't talk over each other. That actually that happened to me in the opposite once, not on purpose. Talk to Lost and Found. They used to have the booth where they could put your jacket in that little
I
cubby.
recall that era.
Yeah. So I would jam our jackets in. One day I'm leaving and I'm like rummaging for the jackets and it's very empty. I'm like, what? My jacket, is it gone? And then I felt like one last one. I pulled it out and it was a Canada Goose. At the time I had a Canada Goose. But I bought mine in my first year of university. So this is what, 2008, around then. Now go to 2015. I've still had this jacket. So I picked it up. It's a little black Canada Goose, throw it on, walk home. But I couldn't really zip it up when I was leaving. I was like, wow, I must have got a lot fatter from when I was back in school. The next day, I go take it out, go back down to get some food or something, and I put it on. I still can't zip it up. I'm like, why can't I close this jacket? I take it off, and I look at the tag, and it's a size small. I'm obviously not a size small.
Not with that attitude.
And it was not my jacket, but it was like a brand new Canada Goose. So worked out in my favor that time, I guess, by placing my jacket where everyone else's are, and they took mine and got the old one. I got the new one.
Yeah, but you got a small now.
It still fits me.
But you couldn't wear it.
No, I can zip it now, but it is tight. It is tight.
Becca got a new jacket then, at least.
No, I still wear it.
I don't know, man. That's like if you got offered a Ferrari, like a 488, but your head is touching the roof of the car. You can't adjust. You can't move the seat. Are you going to keep that Ferrari?
Yeah, you
It's
just
the
collect
fucking
it.
Ferrari.
Yeah, collect
It's
it.
Canada Goose. You want to
I'm
keep it, like
keeping it. I'm
if you
keeping
can't use it, you
Doesn't
can't
matter.
zip it. It's got
I
your-
bought hats that I've never worn. They were too small for me just because I like the hat.
hats are kind of a guy accessory though. That we use them as decorations sometimes.
Somebody's just too lazy to do your hair.
You buy hats that don't fit you?
I bought hats that don't fit me. Not anymore.
Why?
Because before I used to collect hats. That's why I have so many of them.
It's like I don't know.
I used to
It's
collect hats too,
unexplainable.
but I'd buy ones that fit me so I could wear them.
Yeah, but you saw one that was unique. You've never seen it before. They only had 1/8.
They
But if
always,
I got-
they always had my size.
Yeah, bro, because you got the biggest fucking noggin ever.
I used to buy size 8s at one point.
Yeah, that's wild.
One of my Baltimore Orioles hat was the first time I bought an 8, and I was so shocked. Went to it was probably grade 11. or 12.
Shocked that you bought an Orioles hat, or shocked that it was an 8.
Both. You know what? I'm actually like I used to buy like New Year's all the time when I was in school. I realized now looking back, I bought like every team in the AL East, which is so stupid. Like if you're a Jays fan, you should be.
Where's your loyalty?
Yeah, no, that was dumb. I had a Yankees hat, I had an Orioles hat, I think I had a Rays hat, but I also had I think every team.
Yeah, no, I won't. I have a Boston hat. I have a Yankee hat because those are like just cool hats.
Yeah.
Like an LA hat, cool hat.
Cool until the
Like
playoffs.
I don't know, Tampa's. Yeah, like I'll rock this like Phoenix Suns hat. Like, it's just San Antonio Spurs.
This guy didn't even know what.
Phoenix Suns. You just saw pink.
I saw
There's-
pink,
yeah,
literally.
there's no pink in the Phoenix color scheme either.
It's orange and
It's
black.
okay. It's
You're
you know
right.
what? It's Monday, and
Yeah,
I know
fuck.
you need a breather.
That's it. But yeah, I saw his hat. I like the pink. Well, cool
Let's
hat.
circle it back. So you said that when you were to the players, like let them know what's going on here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ways that I like to get started. I mean, meeting a lot of these guys is cool because they're kind of just like big kids for the most part, or they kind of think similar to us in the sense like just young men who love the sport, who sometimes end up having to go places that they're completely unfamiliar with, and then get acclimated to the city, get acclimated to the system, whether or not they're familiar with the weather. Like AK, as an example, is like a Florida boy. So imagine spending your whole life in Florida, then going to West Virginia, crushing it there, then coming here and it's just cold. Granted, he comes in the spring, but at the same time, it's just like shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what would you do? Gotta put him on food spots. He's definitely not, not eating. So
Wait, so what's your go-to recommendation?
depends on what I'm in the mood for. My favorite spot though in the city's got to be the Hazelton at one restaurant. It's kind of getting ran through. There's a lot of people that I see in that space. It used to be a safe space for me. Now it's just there's a whole lot of people. It gets really loud really fast now.
We got a buddy who likes that spot. I've been there once or twice, but
Yeah, now Daddy lives up the street from there.
yeah,
She frequents it.
The chefs there put together some crazy shit.
yeah.
Darby and Amy, they're best duo since Kobe and Shaq. maybe
That's high
up there
praise.
with with Kobe, with Jordan and Pippen too. Like,
Come
them
on.
two, man. Amy throws together this patty. Are you guys familiar with Jamaican food?
Yeah.
Amy throws together this patty where she perfects the crust because she does like all the pastry stuff, right? So she's the best in the pastry game. Darby's the best in just like overall cuisine. So Darby's here making oxtail and plantain, right? Getting it in patty format, and then it's in this perfect crisp patty.
Well, he
And
sits
it's
up
just
and he's like,
dude, I had to sit up. It's making my mouth water a little. No, that patty's one of the best I had in the world. Honestly, I told my mom that. She's like, "Wait, so Darby makes like better patty?" I'm like, "I personally me that's just my take." Them two,
Rig's a big patty guy,
I love them.
but Rig won't pay more than $1 for his patties.
God. Oh no, $1.50 now, inflation. You know the ones you get? Used to get
Step
at,
outside
like
your comfort zone.
Remember the ones you used to get at like Eglinton Station,
Yeah, of course.
Eglinton West when we
Of
were
course.
kids? Yeah.
Of course,
You guys ever had?
R.I.P.
This is a
Randy's.
stupid question. Patty on a bun?
of course, patty and like,
Yeah.
we're talking about cocoa bread.
And then with like they put like lettuce on it, lettuce, mayo.
That's
Oh yeah, I've
blasphemy.
done that.
yeah, it
that's
is a bit,
blasphemy.
but
That's a tourist thing.
and my when I went to high school, there was a mall there, and they had this like little donut shop, but they put patties on a bun.
Wait,
It was
that's what they're called, patties on a
Solon.
bun?
Well, they
So
would
you were
put
getting
patty
patties at
on
a
a bun.
donut shop.
Pardon me?
You were getting patties at a donut
Yeah,
shop.
probably for the
And you
first
saw this
mistake.
as okay.
Probably the first mistake.
Bro, we were buying beef patties at subway stations.
Well, okay, touche. Got me there.
No, they were the best. I think $2 or $3. Patty on a bun, fire every day for lunch. Damn man, good day.
And then he
Good
wonders
times.
how he gained some weight.
I know,
eh?
good times. So Hazelton, besides that though, like that's your like number one spot?
That's my go-to. That's very generic. It's very flexible because you got a bunch of options there. If I want Italian, there's Giulietta.
Giuliatta's good,
We love
Great.
Giulietta.
Yeah.
Have you been to
Juliet.
Osteria Julia?
I have.
What are your thoughts? I haven't been yet.
I mean, I like it. It's cool. It's, you know what? Julia is great, but it's more on the fine dining thing. And as you can tell, like I like to be in my sweats, so anywhere that I can pull up, kind of I'm going in sweats regardless. But anywhere that I can pull up in sweats and just have a great meal, great portions, and very calm vibe. When I was at Julia, I kind of felt like shit. I definitely should have RSVP'd. You know what I mean? Like it made me feel like I needed to check emails and get like espresso martinis, and really all I wanted is like a sparkling water and something straight from Nana.
That's Danny's vibe, special martinis. All the fancy
Made with
places.
tequila or no?
Tequila is actually the
course.
best kind.
Oh, really?
And the best one, they got espresso martini with tequila. And the best one I've had is at Lee.
Really?
Shockingly.
Was it you that told me that recently, or was it someone
Probably.
else?
Well, that's my
That'd
opinion.
be crazy if someone else said that too.
Do you know where one of the best martinis gets made? Not the best, but like one of my favorite ones
Let
that I've
me
ever
guess.
had.
Your
La
place.
Castile.
Nope.
Oh.
What'd you say?
I was gonna say what? Your place?
No. What's my place?
I don't know.
Oh no! Oh yeah, the place that I think like I thought I owned a restaurant or something. No, Sarah on Portland.
I was there the other night.
I haven't heard of it.
You ever heard
Sarah,
of Sarah?
you know Rasa on Harvard Street. It's like there's a group of restaurants.
It's owned by Food Dudes.
I was gonna say.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They when they opened Sarah a few years ago, it was around that time, 2015, 16, whatever. They I want to say the menu's like Asian fusion vibe. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
I
Asian
think.
fusion tapas.
Yeah. Asian fusion small plates. Tapas is a Spanish type of small plate.
But like, I feel like some of them are like Spanish small plates.
Maybe I could be making
That's
that. It's
right.
funny. It's funny you
it's
added
such a
that
random-
in.
yeah.
Like tapas. But no, they have like a whole menu. Like their bar menu is, I guess their thing is like martinis, and they have like different styles you can make and you pick. They make it in ways I didn't even know you can get it in. Honestly, unbelievable. But the thing for me that sold it, and why I'm probably even a little bit like I have a little bit of emotional attachment to it, is because I went back 5 months after my first visit. Only went once. 5 months later, 6 months later.
I think you came with me that night.
Yeah,
Me and Bex.
was it you? But the guy, the waiter upstairs remembered me and remembered how I took my martini, and I was like, "This doesn't happen."
Any
I
time
literally
that
told a story the other night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
anytime that the service is exceptional or someone goes out of their way to do something for you, it kind of just like it resonates.
absolutely. Because that doesn't happen it happens less frequently today than it would back in the day.
Which is understandable too, right? Like, there's so many restaurants. You're not going to the same spot once a week where it's like, hey, can I get the same thing?
You got to go everywhere where Blog TO tells me.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm a big block.
Absolutely not.
I was gonna say.
I was-
Also, you're
Blog
asking my
places?
favorite spots. You're just like, I don't know, man. If I see this on Blog TO, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, I would still look for places on block. Like I used to have it on my phone. I don't anymore. I get annoyed with their takes.
You grew up. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, there's like their opinions they share kind of Not a fan of, but anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would use it. I'd say like, what is in this area that I can try that's different, whatever. But
That's fair.
yeah.
I'm Google reviews now.
You just Google review anything.
Sounds
Well, it's
so
not like if I
formal.
in this area I know what I like, but if I'm in like I don't know, let's say I'm in Markham and I'm hungry and I need to get food, I'll just type in food or what I'm feeling, and then I'll go top rated. Anything under 100 views doesn't count though.
I like that. It's like shopping on eBay.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what your rating is. If you don't have at least X amount of transactions, I'm not about
Like a
it.
4.5 with 1,000 ratings is better to me than a 4.8 with like 70. Remember, like
Facts.
if just between your staff and their family, that's like 40 ratings right there.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Where were we even before we got into
Talking
food?
about places and
Places, your go-to spots. So you just DM people and it's like, hey, you're in the city. Let me show you around. Let me be your. I guess what do you even officially do? Are you like a
That's a great question.
profile concierge? I guess like.
I'm someone like on the topic of the Godfather. I'm kind of like their consigliere. I just like the advisor, the consultant. But
You're the sorter. The
you're,
sorter.
you're like the cool consigliere.
Do you ever
Like,
watch
find
Pulp
it cool.
Fiction? A good friend of mine put it this way. You ever watch Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Wolf. Like just the fixer. Whatever you need to get done, just tap in. We'll
You
get
know
it
a
done.
guy who knows a guy.
I'll
Get
know a
something
guy
done.
who knows a guy who might owe me a favor.
Can get you courtside seats wherever you need or anything you need.
Yeah,
the guy.
the city goes into lockdown.
Oh, so
I've never sat courtside. The one time I had planned to, I had arranged with a friend to coordinate tickets, and then we announced the city was going into lockdown, and I was just like, all right, well, there goes that wagon. Because it was just like the team that we were playing against, the tickets weren't as crazy as like playing against like the Lakers or like the Nets. It was one of those
So
teams.
you want to see Orlando, basically.
No. I was gonna at the time I was gonna see the Pelicans. At the
Yeah.
time.
This is post Anthony Davis or post Anthony Davis.
Post Anthony Davis for sure.
It's still interesting how ticket sales are still really relative to the team name, not the
200%.
actual quality of the team. We have seasons.
Yeah.
Ricky does too.
Humble flex.
Yeah, subtle. But you can see the disparity in pricing between like
200%.
Lakers will be 4 times the amount of like the Orlando Magic, and the Orlando Magic can be first in the league at that point.
Well-
Lakers could be dead last; it would still be the same.
The
way.
Lakers are dead last.
Well, you
Are
see,
they?
yeah,
It hurts
Oh.
my feelings.
I think
I'm a
the
LeBron fan.
Lakers, Sixers, and Brooklyn have like I think it's like 15 wins combined.
Should we talk about Brooklyn? How bad their team is and how annoying their players are. You have a strong opinion about that?
Oh man,
Are you a Nets fan?
I'm a Kevin Durant guy. I love Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's one of the guys I just can't help but like. I can't help it.
No, Danny's sending out invitations right now. I fucking hear the
Durant,
invitation.
you're a Durant guy.
I like him. He's a scorer. He wants to play to win. He speaks what's on his mind. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sure, he could maybe use a PR dude or like a burner account that wasn't obvious, but
know,
KD says what's on his mind, man.
I used to love him. I grew up a Longhorns fan, so when he came out of the draft and he went second, huge Longhorns fan. Vince Young back in the day.
For me right now, it's Marcus Carr,
Who's Marcus Carr?
the like number 1 point guard in my opinion coming out of this class.
Who does he
He's
play?
in
He's
his-
not on Texas.
Texas.
I'm not a
Texas
Texas fan anymore. I should
Whoa,
have also got to that
whoa.
point.
Okay, well,
My allegiance was lost about a year ago, and I changed the University of Florida. But
you went from choosing Texas to Florida.
yeah. I like Florida better. We went had a good. I'll get to that point, but
Okay.
the Durant thing, I liked him coming out of college. I thought he was amazing. Loved him at OKC, and the day he went to Golden State, I was like, I'm done with this guy. I don't like. It's just.
I'm
It's
similar.
such a. I can go on this forever and ever. So I've heard these takes, and I don't want to go too much down this rabbit hole, but it's one of the most cowardice moves I've seen in sports. I think ever. And then he doesn't like taking the shit because like he wants to feel like he was the guy that was there and won the MVPs. Sure, but that team won before you. They've won now after you. How important were you really to that team? You're important to your legacy because you needed those championships, but you couldn't do it on your own, and you couldn't get people to come play with you. Whereas like where you go to my boy Giannis, my Greek brother, that guy won it on his own, did not need to bring anybody there. He won with what was around him. Some players can, but
Giannis
So-
is also a
So
freak
my
of
thing,
nature.
even on that with George, like I love chasing the championship. I'm all about it. If you don't have one, go and get one. The thing is, when you're like 20, I think he did it at like 25 or something, 26. Like he's in the early stages of his prime, and you had just went to the finals, and you had a chance at winning that finals, and then you dip.
You said let me go find an easier route to the championship.
It's like, give it a couple more years. Like LeBron, at least LeBron played it out in Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like LeBron played it out in Cleveland. Like
as a LeBron,
bro, he was a fucking #1 team for like 5 years. Just couldn't fucking do it.
Brother,
like,
he brought Anderson Varejao out to the NBA finals and Zadrunas
Some
Ilgauskas.
crazy.
He brought Mo
crazy
Williams
centers.
to like the
like
it
you
makes
look
no
at that, and you're like,
sense.
okay, LeBron. Like I understand why you left, and you didn't go to the team that just beat your ass in the finals. Sorry, not the team that just beat you coming from behind at 3-2 or 3-1.
3-2.
Golden State was down 3-2 against OKC, right?
Yeah.
And then they came back to win 4-3.
Can you check that? I think it was maybe 3-1. I actually think it was 3-1.
It was bad.
I
It
know.
was
I think
3-1. Check
the last 3-1.
Google Golden State versus
Cleveland,
Oklahoma City
2016.
NBA Finals.
I'm having another drink.
The LeBron gets a lot of hate.
I love him.
I like him a lot. I used to
I'll
not
die
like
on
him
that
as much
podium.
because he played on Cleveland. I actually think I don't have a strong opinion about this because I'm a big basketball fan. I'm not knowledgeable enough in the 90s basketball.
Yeah.
I actually think what he has done is more impressive on the whole than any other person I think in NBA, maybe in NBA history. But sure, Jordan 6 for 6 is unbelievable. Yeah. But LeBron at this point has probably played two full seasons more than anyone that would have had they played the same duration as him. Like I went to the finals every year. Yeah, you lose, but losing like
it's also the
it's a lot of-
journey. It's the extra games on your body. There's a lot to say like, oh yeah, like he won all these chips and didn't come back. It's like, well, if we run the math, it takes 4 games to win. If he's going an extra series, it's an extra 4 games. Minimum,
yeah.
Right? And that's barring no losses. If he goes an extra 2 rounds, right, it's another 8. Another
Some playoffs he played like 25 games, I think.
That's what I mean.
He's played. It was up like maybe a few years ago. He was up to like 82 more games. Like, he had played a full season in playoff games. Like that's insane.
It's disgusting.
And yes, you can say that. Okay, well, if you can win by yourself, like let's say Giannis didn't win by himself, but he was the focal point there and won, so you can give him some credit. But like, it's not really just one person. It is in basketball. You can dominate if you're one player, but I think that applies more to the regular season. Like playoffs is hard, man. Yeah. If you have your bench gets shrunk, so guys are playing more minutes, but Cleveland never had depth. I don't think. Again, they had like was it Jonas Ilgauskas as their like. In what world are you going to win a championship?
They had a 38-year-old Shaq one year.
Yeah, like
that was fun. That was fun to watch.
But to jump back to the Durant thing, I just lost a lot of respect for him. Now that being said, I love the Raptors, and I think Masai Ujiri is a genius, and I feel like they might try to pry him away from there. So if they do, then I'm a Durant fan again. Yeah. While he's on the Raptors, I'm a Durant fan when he's here. But I converted to circle this point back from them to Florida because I just like the state of Florida. Like it's cool.
That's
It's Florida.
understandable.
And we went to the University of Texas on a road trip, and the people there didn't seem as friendly as I thought they would be in Austin.
Was everything actually bigger in Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cool place. Like, Texas was cool. We had a good experience there, but the University of Austin, to me, it was like this like, mythological place that I always grew up like hearing about and wanting to go to, and then I go and I was like, it's not that great. University of Florida, on the other hand, we had the craziest experience. We had to see Alabama, Florida play.
Oh my God,
that was cool.
Florida almost beat Alabama. They lost on
where
the.
there's almost Nick Saban is like the Bill Belichick of
Yeah.
university football.
I'd say he's even bigger than that.
Yeah,
right?
man,
Like, the
he's-
guy's been around for 20 years, and every year he's in the contention to win.
Probably more because he was started in college and went to the pros for a bit, then came back to college and just dominated. When he came to Alabama, schools like I think Florida was big back then. Yeah. Texas was big back then. Yeah. USC, like the non-SEC schools were really good back then. Then Saban came, and then Alabama just dominated, and then the SEC got more competitive, and all the best teams are in.
Yeah, but there's always like
Clemson,
random teams that come in, like Ole Miss, like randomly comes in, Auburn randomly comes in.
Yeah,
LSU, same thing. Also, since we're on this topic, the LSU's new sports facility. It's not just a locker room; it's their
whole facility.
Yeah, it's their training facility.
I sent them the video.
Ridiculous.
Wasn't it like 200 million or something?
Something crazy.
The endowments.
This place is just fucked. It's like
I couldn't.
This place is.
It's probably better than if you go find the worst NFL team, like find the Washington Red Commanders practice facility. LSU is probably better than theirs.
Oh no, I'd say it's even better than the Bills probably.
We saw the Bills. Yeah, it was Bills was look like an old barn.
Yeah, no, this is state of the art.
Dude,
Like,
Bills actually deserve whatever new facility they're about to get.
oh yeah,
I think they're building a new one down there.
yeah, and I will literally want Bills to win this year so bad.
It's gonna be a tough
I want them to have it so bad.
Nah. Those guys were shit when we went down there. Do not
they
support
were
them.
rude to us.
We went to the
They
Titans.
screwed me on a couple tickets back to back in some weeks that I won't talk about.
What's
right
your team?
now? I'm not gonna lie, I love Pat Mahomes. To me, he's like the Steph Curry of football.
Yeah, he's fun
There's
to watch.
some shit that he's doing where it's just like,
How?
wow. Like, yeah, exactly.
Bro, like a 30-yarder sidearm dart.
See, I like that though because you compared him to Steph Curry. Curry used to get a lot of shit because it looked like they were having so much fun how they played changing the game, which all the old heads were like, this guy's it's not how the old game was. These guys would get killed back in the day. Sure, but they're winning, dominating, and having fun, making it look not effortless, but like they're a step above anyone who's ever done it. Mahomes is like the same way, and it's fun to watch. And you want to see someone having fun.
It was the same thing with when the Seahawks were kind of reemerging with Russ and fucking Marshawn. Yeah. Beast mode was a different era. That's got to be the coolest guy I ever met.
Have you seen him out
in person?
Yeah,
twice.
Come on.
And is he as cool as you think he is?
Dude, it's like being in a dream. Are you kidding me? Like, so the first time I met Marshawn, do you guys remember Wildflower?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm on a date at Wildflower, right? And I was telling one of those girls, like, yo, I want to.
Wait, who goes on a date to Wildflower?
Okay, let me rephrase. I had picked up this chick at the bar, and this is Wildflower. I was just gonna call it a date to sound.
Is this Sunday night?
This is definitely like a Friday or something.
Okay.
Get the mic a little closer.
My bad. And I've reached that point where I realize I don't want to be at the bar with this person anymore. I'm trying to figure out what's my best route out of here. And you know when you're just looking around, kind of surveying the place, I see this face kind of looking straight, and he's coming towards the bar. I'm like, that person looks kind of familiar. Now, what made him stand out is the fact that he didn't look like he had a tough time navigating. He was like in rhythm going around the congestion that was between him and the bar. It was almost just like a land shark, actually. And as he got close, I'm like, that kind of looks like that is Marshawn Lynch. And that's when it was just kind of like that was the first time where I kind of got like starstruck type of thing. Cause like you go somewhere, you're on a shitty day, you're thinking about like, okay, where's this day going to go? Or maybe I'm going to go back to this chick's place. And instead now you're kind of like fangirling about this.
Some dude.
Oh, beast mode in my head. All this beast mode. Oh, my dick. Like, that's all I'm thinking in my head, and I'm looking at this chick, and she can tell I'm not paying attention. She's like, who are you looking at? I'm just pointing at Marshawn, and then she asked, like, shake his hand. And the best part is, like, she asked if he was Marshawn, and she's like, no. He's like, I never heard of him. That's gangster. That was the first time I met him.
You met him twice, though.
The second time, I was at work. I work with I work in a mall. I used to work in a mall, and
wait, sorry. You said that 3 different ways that you said.
I'm like, do I want to tell people
I work in a mall? I used to work in a mall.
No, I work at a mall currently. I thought about double back. I'm like, I can't. This is live. So okay, let me just dive right into it. So I'm trying to figure out where this employee is and how come they haven't taken their break yet. And when I find out, it's just like, oh, he's outside with Marshawn Lynch. I'm like, oh, that completely makes sense. I wouldn't go on my break either. I would completely stay there. And he's basically just entertaining him. Now, the first thing that I did was what I told myself. Like my younger brother also played football, and he had a video that actually went viral back in high school of him running through like a bunch of kids on the way to a touchdown, and like it was getting compared to like Marshawn Lynch, the beast mode run. So I told myself that if I ever saw him again, like I'd have to show him this tape, and that's what I did. And then what he was saying, like as I was showing him this clip, is literally what you'd want to see on like a Twitch stream. He's like, "Oh, Lil Man ain't wrap up. Lil Man ain't wrap up." As this guy, as my younger brother was like breaking tackles to get to this touchdown, I was like, "Oh, he ain't wrap up." That's all I remember. That's all he was saying. I'm just, man, this guy's just so cool to be around.
He seems like of all guys to meet in the NFL, he seems like one of the people that you'd want to like just like have
100%.
Even a 5-minute conversation with.
I would love to.
He was on a show. It was a Netflix series that I think Will Arnett released. It was a like a sketch comedy almost, but they was like ad-libbed.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it. Danny, can you look this up? Anyways, they had like a 5-part series, and it'd be like Will Arnett and this person play a cop, and let me rephrase that. Will Arnett was the main cop, and every episode he would have a different partner. Marshawn Lynch was one of them, and they like it's basically ad-libbing the whole show.
Yeah.
And Marshawn is one of the funniest guys to watch. Like the stuff that comes to his head that he says, unbelievable. I don't remember it all, and I'm going to butcher it, but I highly recommend watching it.
That's on Netflix?
Yeah.
So if I type Marshawn Lynch.
Nope, it'll come up. Murderville?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I'm going to find that later.
If you got to go to dinner with any 3 people from the NFL, dead or alive, who are they? NFL only.
Any 3 NFL only.
Dead or alive.
Wow. That's a tough one.
Okay, I got Deion Sanders. Probably Marshawn Lynch and probably Tom Brady.
Those are good. That was a good one.
I would say Michael or Ray Lewis would be crazy.
Ray Lewis was the first one that came to mind, but I'm just like, is saying his name going to get me canceled?
No, you're good.
No, Ray Lewis got off the man. That guy, he's lucky he wasn't playing today.
Shit. Every second he'd just be like, Ray Lewis would fuck your ticket up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the amount of penalties he would just pick up.
You know who else? Sorry, I just thought about this. Baltimore. Ed Reed would be cool too.
Oh yeah,
Ed Reed. I saw a clip recently. That I think it was Peyton Manning was talking about it on a telecast, and he said that I think Ed Reed was the smartest defensive player he's ever played against, and he was one of the toughest to play against. And he broke down a clip where he shows that Peyton Manning knew Baltimore's defense, so he knew that when the receiver breaks down the line and cuts, they do this certain thing, right? So he knew they were going to do it, so he called an audible at the line. But Ed Reed, knowing Peyton Manning, I believe it was Omaha. Ed Reed, knowing that Peyton Manning studies this, knew that he would know to do it. So Ed Reed on this play saw them audible out. Ed Reed still pretended to bite on the fake.
Yeah.
As he lunged, he knew that Peyton was watching him. He did a quick fake, spun back around, picks the ball off. Like, basically baited Peyton Manning and beat him in his own game.
That's badass.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
That for me, you have to do like field generals. So Pat Mahomes is definitely one of them. Right? How do you come up with the shit that you come up with? Tom Brady, just because like it's not like Tom Brady's really a crazy athlete. He's not spinning to get out of anything. So how are you so tactical, especially at this age? It's all it's all mental, like we were talking about earlier. And Peyton Manning would probably have to be the last one. It would be all quarterbacks that I would sit down and try to pick their brains up, because it's just like they're thinking steps ahead, not just what's in the moment. Ray Lewis would be dope. Don't get me wrong. Marshall would be dope, but it's like a lot of the moves that they make are just like reactionary to like whether or not their O-line actually makes that block, whether or not this cut's gonna actually help them. Whereas like guys have to think about full fucking plays, mismatches, audibles of the line, like. That shit's huge.
What about you, Rick?
I'd go Brady for sure, just because, again, Brady's the GOAT. I'd probably go Gronk, just because I feel like he'd be a lot of fun at dinner. Like, Gronk, I feel like you see the videos of him online. It's like, I feel like Gronk is exactly who you think he is in person, on the field, everything.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to go like a cool running back at the end. I don't know who would my third one be.
Pick someone that dated Kim Kardashian.
Actually, I don't know, man. Derrick Henry would be fucking dope. Just because, like,
I feel like he's like I've never heard him say a word ever. Even though I don't watch interviews, I'm a Titans fan. Like I don't know what he sounds
I would love to throw Eli into the mix, just because Eli would be so awkward and funny, like Eli Manning.
So I was like, what was it like beating Tom Brady in an undefeated season? Well, it was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eli.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Danny, who would you go?
I want guys who have good story, like really good stories, some legend, and you want guys from I think different
decades.
Too, yeah.
Oh, who's the running back that with the glove? Why am I going blank right now?
The glove.
OJ. OJ got some crazy stories.
This is recording.
OJ got some crazy stories. Danny, who are you? I see you eyeing us down.
Gronk, Garoppolo, and CD Lamb.
Jimmy G.
Oh,
Yeah,
and CD Lamb.
Yeah.
Why CD
Because
Lamb?
when he got drafted, I was obsessed with him.
Are you Dallas Cowboys fan?
Yes.
She's got a jersey.
Oh.
She had dinner on Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
That's pretty fire.
Dallas Cowboys Stadium's nuts. Jerry World.
But then I also, that's it for now.
For now.
Decker hot.
Oh God.
That doesn't count.
Okay.
How do we get on the topic of talking about football players?
We're talking about Marshawn Lynch. Meeting Marshawn Lynch.
We met Brian Arakpo and Jamal Charles.
That was cool.
At the Raptors game. Was it game 6? No.
We had the mask that we had the sign.
So it was one of the playoff games. I think it was game 6.
Can't remember.
Two Texas players too, so I spotted them. I knew them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get. That's a fucking lie. I get starstruck so easily. Like if I see someone, like
George got excited over Dalton Pompey like a few years back.
You're joking, man.
I grew up playing. I played baseball with him in school. He was unbelievable. And I saw him walking. I'm like, oh, it's Dalton. I didn't go crazy about seeing. It was the first time I was at Lost and Found, and I bumped into him. I was like, oh, Dalton was the Jays. That's sick. I think Ricky exaggerated the story so much.
Okay, we had Dalton on the
podcast. I've seen him a few times out the city.
I fucking guys out more than.
Hey man, if you're in Toronto, you got to take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
There's a lot to do here.
That's how this whole conversation started. Back to what do you do again? You're a sorter.
If I had to label it something for like LinkedIn, it would be like a image and lifestyle consultant.
Okay.
Because image is broad enough for me to say like, yeah, I'll help some guys like with personal shopping. Sometimes it's with styling. Sometimes it's just like sourcing some tough to find stuff. Because I mean, if you're in the season 6 to 8 months or 8 to 10 months of the year, you're not really getting to shop up until like you have your trip in LA or your trip in New York, your trip in Florida, and you're trying to run through the different teams that are in those states, and then maybe you get a chance to break away and check some shit out. So I try to help keep them current.
Okay, so they just hit you up and they're like, need a couple pair of sneakers? Or
It started with sneakers. I was doing sneakers for the longest time, and then it turned into just like sneakers came fashion, and then it's like maybe it's a tough to find Supreme T-shirt, or maybe it's a Ricardo Tisci Givenchy piece from when they were doing like the Watch the Throne stuff. So it'll be a range of shit sometimes.
Where would you bring someone to shop in Toronto? Like if you had to pick a store, not source it out outside.
Tough. There's a couple actually that you need to go to. Contraband Toronto, you have to go check out. You have to go to Nomad Toronto. Capsule's got sneakers. The Webster is cool to have here, but they're not immediately from Toronto. So I'm not going to say like don't pop in with them, but if you want to see like Toronto at its core, Haven is solid. Livestock is, a staple in the game. Livestock's actually where I got my first pair of shoes that I fell in love with. It was a Yeezy 1. Yeah, that was a great feeling. That was a great feeling at that age.
I'll be honest. All those stores you named, I think I've been into one of them.
I've never been to
I can
any.
tell.
I know them all.
Nah, it's a lie. Been into Capsule, never bought anything, and I think Nomad's on Queen. Or
Nomad is at Spadina and Dundas-ish.
So then
They had
I've
a
been
spot. Their old spot was kind of like Richmond and Spadina, and now they're more like Dundas.
Okay, yeah.
And then they had. Oh yeah, you're right. There was a point where they were on
the south side of Queen, right? Queen West.
Queen and like Tecumseh.
Yeah,
Queen
next
and
to where
Niagara.
their old studios. Yeah. On the south side there. I've been in that store.
That store had some fucking sick pop-ups too.
Yeah.
That's where I met a couple homies over at that spot. They did a pop-up for the Justin Bieber Purpose tour. That was nuts because Jerry Lorenzo designed the merch, and they'd also been the Toronto stop for when Jerry Lorenzo came to the city to do like his Fear of God. It was like second or third collection, maybe even fourth of like rock tees. But that guy is an OG.
Yeah, no. I got the worst fashion game in the world. I'm like Walmart jeans and tee.
What you got on right now?
You don't even want to know.
Rate the fit.
You got the Birkenstocks, Arizonas, the ankle socks that say I get cold when I wait in line at Lost and Found.
I actually put these on when I got home today.
Okay, so
I had like high top Nikes in the winter, but yeah.
fair enough.
These track pants are Costco something
Nice.
Costco.
Kirkland.
Nice.
Yeah, probably.
Did
No,
you get
it's
to
not.
sample
It's not
them
Kirkland.
first?
No, they were like $20, $10 or something. So you just pick them up. And then this is a Pals Podcast exclusive piece of merch, limited edition, only 100 made ever.
That's fire. So online it says sold out already.
Oh, but you can't even get them online. They're not available.
Exactly. So what's the
You
resale
probably
value?
go to like fucking Valley Village. You see a bunch of them there.
So what's the resale value on the Pals hoodie? High, right? I figured.
If there's only one online, I can say it's like $1,000.
Yeah, gotta be.
Only one available. Eh?
Wait for the restock.
Oh man,
Of
yeah.
bots and monitors watching your shit for when it releases.
So how do you get them? Like when you buy something that's like coming out. Let's say you want to get I don't know, whatever the new Jordans are coming out.
Yeah.
Do you have a bot system that does it, or do you?
Dude, if I had a bot system, I feel like I would be so excited if I had a bot system, because I feel like I wouldn't have any anxiety at all. I would just be able to, skip the 6:23 a.m. releases on Nike.com, not have to worry about entering a million raffles. But no, I don't have a bot system. Sometimes I get lucky, and that's where it kind of comes down to like I reached this point a few years ago where it's just like, yo, fuck it, I'm just gonna pay resale. I'm just paying the resale. Like if I skip a bunch of general release shoes, like that $200 or that $300 adds up quickly. So if I skip 2, 3, 4 pairs, instead of getting 4 pairs of like okay stuff, I get 1 pair of like a banger, and then I run that banger into the ground.
That's fair.
So you're someone who like you don't buy to collect, you buy to like wear, like you.
I beat the shit out of my stuff.
Yeah,
It's
good.
terrible.
No, it's good. I get some people collect to like buy and keep, but like
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of. Actually, I think I have like nice enough clothes. I like to buy good quality things that last. I never understand people that like will buy stuff, whether it's a nice watch or bag or whatever, and keep it on the shelf what's the point of buying something good to not use it? I get it. You can collect it and resell it. I don't know. I never understood that.
Have you ever had fun with the Apple shares that you buy?
With the what?
Like, have you ever decided, like, fuck, I'm going on a date. Let me wear my Apple shares.
My Apple shares?
Yeah, or your Tesla shares. Never thought of it that way?
I've sold my stuff to invest in other things or spend my money and use it. So,
Yeah.
same kind
I'm
of thing.
a portfolio manager of a closet.
Yeah.
That would be my thing. So it's
That's
just
fair.
Like, it's the same thing. Like, you know, a lot of these pieces right now are like they're actual assets that you can get utility out of and then flip down the road.
We have a buddy that had the pair of the Dior Jordans.
Who, Chris?
No, buddy
Mickey?
DB. No, Mickey wears his though.
Yeah, he does.
So our buddy DB has them. He's got the high tops, and he bought them for like $7,000, and I think they're valued like on StockX right now. I think they're 9,
Yeah, somewhere on that.
something like that, right? So I think he bought them with the purpose of not wearing them. Mind you, like again, $7,000 for a fucking pair of sneakers is a lot, but hey, fuck, if they're worth 9 now, like
It would make sense, yeah.
it's a good investment. Fuck, he's had them for less than 2 years.
Yeah, that's like someone buying like a Birkin bag. You buy it for $10,000, resell it in a couple years for $30,000.
Depends on the Birkin, though. 'cause
Yeah,
some
no,
of them, like,
but it's the same thing. You can buy luxury items for resale.
yeah.
But I truly believe if you're gonna buy a luxury item because you like it and you want to wear it, you should continue to use it. Like
200%.
if I buy a pair of running shoes and they're expensive, I'm gonna wear them until I can't wear them anymore because I bought them for the purpose of wearing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm the same way now. If I have something nice, I use it to the ground. The reason why is when I was about 13 or 14 years old, my cousin gave me a pair of Gucci sunglasses. They were the ones that were upside down. So it's like instead of the they were really big in Europe at that time, like massive. Everybody had them. My cousin gave me a pair of Gucci ones. They were like 400 euros, 500 euros.
Jesus.
And I was so scared of wearing them and to like lose them. And then like 2 years later, I'm like, going to start wearing them. I wore them for one summer and then they were out of style the next summer.
Wow.
So I still to this day have worn them once, maybe like a dozen times.
So something to like buy things that are gonna last, that are timeless versus
tell-
buying something in the moment.
I tell the story all the time.
And there's a lot of brands.
My first designer piece of clothing I ever got was a Louis Vuitton belt on Rodeo Drive. I think I was in grade 7. My parents got it for me, I think, for Christmas. We were down there.
Wow.
And I still have it to this day, and my go-to belt, still shocking that it fits me. I was either really fat then or I don't know what's going on because it fits me almost the exact same way.
Punch holes?
No, none.
Probably on the same hole too.
It's honestly, yeah, close, like not far off. And I've worn it. So that's now grade 7. What was that? That's like
15 years.
15 years. I've been wearing this thing. It's worn well. It doesn't look faded at all.
20
Nothing.
years actually.
So I spent maybe it was $200 at the time, US, something like
Yeah.
that. Think about how the incremental value that I've gotten all that you said it. And if I wanted to, if belts for some reason were still resell, it still looks decent enough that I could probably sell it. But yeah, I understand how people collect things. I obviously understand the value of like limited edition goods and like, you know, supply and demand and stuff like that. I get it. I'm sorry, DB's like sneakers and stuff, but I don't know. I just think like if you're gonna buy something that's nice, don't you want people to? I guess you can post that people can see you have it, but don't you want people to know
That's
you
the
have
generation we're in, though. You know what I mean? If you see some people at dinner and their clutch or their purse or their watch just so happens to be holding the champagne glass as they're taking the picture,
it? I'm not a fan.
it's a little flex. I'm like, okay, that's cute. It's like people when they're in the Rolls Royce, they got the head tilt, like fucking.
Yeah,
breaking their neck.
I cannot.
Holy shit.
That's the reason George deleted
That's-
Instagram.
Oh my god.
No, that's probably one of the reasons I hate seeing that. I hate. Look, we used to when we go to the clubs too. Like we would drink. You know, sometimes you order like a good bottle of champagne. But actually that's a lie. I was probably caught in 1 or 2 pictures with a bottle of champagne, man.
Way more than 1 or 2. What are you talking about? We went to clubs every week.
Be honest.
like
I said I
Out
work
of
in the
all-
mall.
out of
You
all-
have to-
but
you
I'm
have
not.
to be
But I'm
honest,
not
too.
doing it like. I don't think I'm like you're the guy holding the thing, posting it with like you said,
Oh,
like
yeah,
you're
with
watching
the
and stuff
rollers
like that. Like
pouring
yeah,
them out for like nothingness.
yeah, that to me is crazy. I
Stupid.
understand why people do it. I think it's the dumbest. Like
The epitome of weird flex, but
it's
okay.
it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
I'm maybe I'm weird or maybe I actually because I'm not cheap in terms of experiences, but I think I've bought a champagne bottle at a club like max like a handful of times. I would always rather buy 2 bottles of vodka or 2 bottles of tequila than 1 bottle of champagne because it'll just last so much longer. Even when we were in Vegas and stuff where it's like our minimums are so ridiculous, I'm like, don't get the champagne to start. Get it after. Because what if we end up meeting 20 fucking girls and we run out of booze? Then we're going to have to buy more booze after. 1 bottle of champagne is like almost equivalent to 2 bottles of vodka.
So what you're saying is you rather pour someone a bottle shot than have to use a champagne flute.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, but some of the like things I genuinely like. I actually up until recently I like drinking champagne. I really like. Like
I
I
need one glass max.
you say it again, sorry, you what?
You would have like more than one glass.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
When I
Josh.
would buy them, I would drink like that. I would like have probably by myself like 3-4 glasses of it.
Would you say that you're team rosé all day?
No, don't like rosé. Rosé gives me heartburn.
See,
I used to drink rosé with like I'd be in Europe, but it gives me bad heartburn.
if
now.
I'm having one glass, rosé is my thing. Danny, go.
I'm allergic. No.
I'm allergic to alcohol too. Like when I start to
rosé.
drink, like I could have either a beer or like a glass of wine, and my nose will just get stuffy.
Really?
Yeah, I won't really drink on dates because then it's just like if I can't taste my food and I'm fronting this bill, like I'm pissed. You know what I mean? Could you imagine you're fucking buying a tomahawk, like a I don't know, like a gnocchi or some shit.
And my man's going to Julieta too, so you know the bill's getting pricey.
I can run through my order right now. It's anyways, but yeah, I'm not drinking and eating at the same time. If anything, it's like one glass or it's like a shot. It's probably a Moscow Mule. Something simple. I swap the tequila instead of the vodka
I've never done that.
all the time.
I've heard people that
I almost
do that
exclusively
before.
drink tequila.
Yeah, big fan of it. I used to hate it, but now I'm a big fan. I've done a tequila Negroni before, actually a couple times. Yeah, tequila and a Negroni is good. Negroni was my favorite drink for a long time, but yeah, it gives me like I don't know, bugs me lately. I can't drink it, but tequila Negroni is really good. Tequila wakes you up. It's like if you drink it, most things you put in, like it gives you a bit of energy. I
It's
think.
the
considered
caffeine
an
of
upper.
alcohol.
Yeah, honestly, I believe so. Doing shots of tequila, you're waking up most of the time. Like
It's an upper. Versus
Yeah.
like vodka like puts you down. Like that's what it's.
It's a sativa, not an indica.
that's fair. Fires you up.
I still love me. I love me vodka, but for shots, tequila's the go-to.
I love me vodka.
I say it a little Russian.
I said I love me
I
vodka.
love me some vodka.
Yeah. Anyways, people like to flex. People really like to. I wonder what's gonna happen. Like if people keep, we've been living through it. This is maybe going too deep down the rabbit, but we've lived through a time the last like decade that it's just like money was relatively cheap, companies were booming, the economy was doing well. And not to say I don't know what's happening in the future, but if what people are saying does come to fruition, I wonder if that will like reset things, right? Because it's always like 08, 09. We're probably a little too young to like really appreciate what happened then. Yeah. But I feel like, when that kind of reset happens, there are people who maybe have overexerted themselves and so forth. Like, they say when the tide goes out, you see who's swimming naked. So I wonder.
I've never heard that one. That's a new one.
Yeah, I heard it a few times. I really like it. Because it's true, right? Like,
the problem is I like swimming naked. I don't like this
listen,
one.
not a bad thing. So many things. I'm everyone's at fault, right? You like, do I need to buy this one thing? I really like. I'm gonna get it. Like a lot of people, most of us buy stuff we don't like truly need, but you want it. It brings people joy, whatever. Yeah. No judgment for that. But then you see people again like pouring champagne on the floor. It's like, that's money that you might need one day.
The problem though, and this is just to play devil's advocate.
By all means,
the problem is just like if you're doing that, chances are you're not doing that and not recording it. And if you're recording it, you're getting content. And if you're getting content, you're marketing. So if the flex is kind of like, I'm going to pour this out because this is a weird flex and I know someone's going to DM me calling me a fucking idiot, then hey.
Any press is good press.
It opens the conversation. Talk to me, marketing guy.
No, I'm just like, at the same time, a lot of times the people we see that are doing these flexes, it's like,
getting sponsorships.
They're not getting sponsorships. They're not doing it to grow their channel. They're not doing this. They're doing it. It's just strictly to like impress people, I guess.
So when they say they're going out to party, like, oh, I know. Like, explain to me why the dude that pours milk hosts parties.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Slut Whisperer.
What a great name.
He was a photographer too.
Thank you.
Whatever happened?
Unpack
he's
that
still
one.
around. You didn't hear what happened
No.
about 4 months ago? So we had a show in Hamilton.
Is this gonna get us canceled?
No, because we didn't do shit.
I feel like I have to ask.
I'm gonna
Every
say
30 minutes.
20,
Yeah,
22
I'm
minutes.
Like,
just-
are the fries ready yet? No. Okay. Is this gonna get me canceled? No. Okay.
So he was. Do you call it performing? He was hosting.
Yeah.
He was hosting in. Well, I guess he's performing too. Fuck it. He was performing at a club, hosting a club in Hamilton, and a Facebook group of mothers in Hamilton like started this big protest, and they protested outside the club. Went to the mayor's office to try and get him to like not happen.
Yeah.
The mayor said, "No, this is happening."
Wow.
Hamilton.
Sorry.
Press.
Again, I'm not 100% sure this is how I
It
remember.
just sounds like a Hamilton story.
Yeah. So, but it still went through, and the show went on. Apparently, because of that, the extra press, it ended up helping them sell more tickets. Because I think I remember him like doing an Instagram live or an Instagram story about it, where he's like, "Fuck it, I wasn't sold out, but now we are. Thanks, Mom's Group of Hamilton, Facebook -- whatever."
Did he drop the whole URL? That would have been
Yeah,
gangsta.
bro. It was just.
Thank you, HTTPS.
Yeah, it was a club in Hess Village.
/
Maybe I'm mistaking the story, Danny. I don't know, but she's.
Are we googling it?
Yeah, no, she's off. She Dancing with the Stars started,
Should she
so she's
ask
off.
Jeeves?
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so she, but yeah, Krill.
Crow was here.
RILL. Yeah. Anyway, Slut Whisperer. So he hasn't been canceled yet.
Whisperer. Follow him.
So I feel like if you
What
don't
a name, man.
Yeah. I feel like if you
How did IG
you
let
can't
that
get
happen?
canceled if you don't let yourself get canceled. Almost like, you know what I mean? There's some things you can do that are really
I was thinking
bad.
we were talking about this the other day. I think
Me and you.
Was it on the podcast? Because we were saying something. I don't think we went down this thought, but I remember either we talked about it or I was thinking it recently. And it's in. I think we were talking about comedians. Maybe was it on the podcast?
Yeah, comedians. Yeah.
Some people they just. I'll give you an example. You know Joey Diaz,
Heard the name.
Joey Coco Diaz.
Okay, yeah.
He's one of the guys. He's on Joe Rogan, but he's a big comedian.
Yeah,
he is
that's why I
extremely politically incorrect, but he says it and admits it. And he said, I think on Rogan's podcast, this is like a couple of years ago, because I've listened to all his stories are insane. But he goes, I'm not. I know who I am. I know it's not right, but this is how I'm not changing. It's taking me more effort to change. So he says stuff that is, you probably could get canceled for, but I think because he's aware enough of it and says it, I think it's the people just think, why am I going to go after this guy? Like he's clearly it's going to bounce off like off Teflon.
Yeah.
I think some people, depending what you do, how bad it is. If
Yeah.
it's someone that is like,
There's lines you can't cross.
if it's
What are those lines? JK.
No, but if something's in a gray area and the person just absolutely does not care, they might be able to walk away from it. If it's definitely black and white, it doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. But it's interesting because like pouring milk on girls and like doing that guy does. I mean, you would think that would not
It's
fly
consensual
today.
though. Like,
Yeah, I used to. I mean,
This
it's.
is a big can of worms. Okay.
I
We don't have to
know.
go down. I actually think it's. How did we get on the topic of this one now?
Lost and found.
We needed filler. Oh.
No, we were talking about lost and found, hostings.
I don't know how did we get on this topic? Does anyone remember?
Because it has to do with the weird.
Oh, flexing, pouring
flexing.
champagne.
Yeah.
The champagne.
Yeah. I know. Do you also notice this, all the people posting the bottles of like pouring empty champagne all have like, either like real rollies or fake rollies or like fake APs, real APs. Like no one's doing it with like a blank wrist. You notice that? Everyone's always got fucking some sick ass watch.
Yeah.
So I deleted
I feel
my.
like that's part of the flex.
That's why I deleted my social media.
It's stressful.
It is. It's just.
can be.
No, I still.
I find it. I mean, yeah, you're single. You just want to be out in the world and do your thing. I just find it. It's all noise. It's all bullshit.
But George, at the same time, you're still on YouTube Shorts. That's still a social network.
Yeah, but with the content I'm getting is very different than the like.
YouTube
content
Shorts
do you
and TikTok is almost the exact same
I never
thing.
said TikTok.
Well, you deleted TikTok too.
I deleted my. Well, I meant like Instagram. What we're talking about here does not have to do with TikTok. It does to do with Instagram.
Well, no, some
mainly.
people still do that on TikTok too, though.
Probably, but I venture to guess that there's more flexing done on Instagram as a whole. It's been
Yeah.
around longer.
Yeah,
it lives there. It's
yeah,
content.
that's fair.
For sure.
Yeah, it's to me, it's just all there's seldom value you're gonna
Smoke
get.
and mirrors.
A lot of it, yeah, and that's fine. It's people. The average person doesn't care about it. For me, I just get very irritated very easily about just nonsense. I was probably guilty of doing that stuff too when I was younger. Probably posted stuff that was a little bit boisterous. Boisterous? What the hell's the word?
Did that have to do with during your period of not waiting in line at Lost and Found?
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah, they
for sure.
coincided.
Well, no, even up until like, listen, it doesn't matter what anyone says. Not everybody, but most people have a gene in them that wants to show off something. Like, that's why we have social media.
It's crazy because I feel like it kind of started in elementary school and you do show and tell. Or like,
Yeah, that's
do you remember
interesting.
show and tell? Like you bring in something that's cool to you and you try your best to flex.
Hype it up, yeah.
No one ever brought in like craft dinner said, I brought this in because it's my favorite snack. Like, no. Like, this is my fucking Power Rangers Mighty Morphin wristwear. This makes me the Green Ranger.
It's actually
None of you
true.
guys can't tell me shit. Or when you bring in your parents and you're just like, or like my brother actually has a story from him not wanting my mom to come on a school trip because she didn't have like a super cool job, so it wasn't like a flex for to bring your mom on a school trip, or like you bring your parent to class and talk about what they do. Like, yeah, if you're not a fireman, who gives a fuck?
It's true. That's actually a
Yeah, I've never
very
thought
interesting
about
take. I
that.
did not think about that. And listen, like to circle back to that point, I was I probably still am. I brag to my friends. Like I am just very boastful in general.
What's the last thing you bragged about?
Probably picking a stock right or something. I don't know.
That's a good one.
I brag. Like everyone wants to tell someone, "I told you so." For the most part, like everyone,
Yeah.
you want to hype yourself up.
Yeah.
But I'm also happy to share the L's, right? Like
No, the last thing he was bragging about was knowing that The Rock was.
Oh yeah.
The Rock was not. I'm going to be bringing this up every story. George doesn't believe The Rock's been genuine, and then Danny found an article online where The Rock said that he was not as nice as he should have been anymore, something like that.
Yeah, it was like 2 days ago I talked about this, and I said I knew it.
That's the last thing he bragged about.
I'll occasionally brag if my parlay hits, but if my parlay doesn't hit, then I'm in a dark place.
Listen, you got to be able to. The thing is, when you brag, you can't be the person that goes and says like, "This is my life, it's amazing," or "I told you so," or "I'm amazing at this." But then when the L's come up, you're like, "No, I didn't do that." Like
You have to eat the L's, man.
100%. I'm the first to admit, I did not expect this to happen or this. Yeah, the fringe ones you're gonna defend a little bit. Like, I thought this or that, but like, man, you got to be able to take the good with the bad. Anyways, we're getting on these like fucking webs here and going in different directions, but
It's content.
Man, fuck it. That's the best part. It's our podcast. We can do whatever the fuck we want, right?
Exactly.
I know. We're getting near that point. I know. Any other cool stories you got? You want to share something?
Give me a topic. I'll see what comes to mind.
what are your favorite sneakers you have?
Favorite pair that I have? Chicago Off-White, Jordan 1s. Just because of the story. I'm my favorite like sneaker silhouette's a Jordan 1. So when you mentioned that you bought it, I was like, great pair, as long as it's not a mid. You know what I mean? But
Why are mids frowned upon in the community?
Everyone says that.
So wait, pause. You know what we should do then? We should go and buy them, because if I know anything about trends, it's like Crocs. I think you get made fun of for that doesn't get the love. The people that can't get it, one day someone's going to see an opportunity and buy an appreciated asset. And
People can get it. It's not an issue not to get them. Like you can get mids for way cheaper than you can get highs or lows. But any sneakerhead that I've ever met that I've gone to for advice on sneakers, I'm like, oh, I want these, and I can get the same ones in like a version of the mids, and they're like, do not get the mids.
Why is that?
So it's like a unwritten rule. It's like if Nana offers you food, you're not gonna say no. You can't.
And
say
George,
no.
to give you an idea, so the lows are like standard, like at normal market value, like $150. The mids are like 200. The highs are 250. You go resell, the mids and the lows are the same price.
Okay, right. But that data doesn't help me. What I was saying was, okay, let's back up.
It just helps you in terms of value.
What? No, but that's not. But no, I understand what they're saying in terms of that. I realize that no one says to get them because they don't have resale value or whatever. But why is that? Is it because they produce more of them? Is it because supply is higher or demand is lower?
Demand is lower.
Right, but the supply is similar.
Supply is. It feels like the supply is definitely higher, or maybe the supply is the same amount. It just they're not as
The demand's
appealing.
lower, yeah.
The allure isn't there.
Okay, but is there a reason?
I mean, they're not highs, they're not lows. They're just kind of in the middle
If
there.
I had to try to unpack it,
They don't look as good in jeans. And that's my opinion. Again, I'm not a sneakerhead.
So let me ask you then. So let's take this back. This is the point I was making. Take it back a step. We talked about Crocs to begin this, right? Back in the day, you were made fun of for wearing Crocs.
Yeah.
One day they became cool because one person made a choice to say, "I'm pretty cool," or I don't care what people think, so I'm going to start doing this, and then the network effect happens. Right? Someone says, "Oh, those were not cool before, but this cool person's wearing them."
No. But when Crocs were popular back in the day, you bought the Crocs because everyone had them. I said, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to camp. I need a pair of Crocs."
I never bought Crocs. People at my school get made fun of for wearing Crocs.
No.
I still don't have Crocs, but
We were younger. We were going to Muskoka Woods. It was like, Mom, I can't go to Muskoka Woods without Crocs. Begged my mom, we need
Wait,
Crocs.
really? What?
That never was a thing when we were kids.
Like,
Like,
that was-
Danny. They
that-
were 5 years older than you. You remember that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is when they first came out, there was jokes about like the best birth control is a Croc.
Okay, see, opposite for
That's-
my
that-
generation when they were popular, it was popular. Then it
Right.
became unpopular to have them. So you threw them out, you left them wherever they were. Someone decided to bring them back.
Right.
It's not saying that mids have been around for how long? Just in this, from all time, if you're going to buy Jordans and you can afford to buy them at a resale value too, because they're impossible to get, you're going to buy the highs or lows. If not, don't bother getting them. Buy another pair. Buy Air Forces.
You guys are missing the point of what I'm saying, I believe.
No,
It's not about
two different
today's
stories,
value.
bro.
Like how does when Warren Buffett goes and buys a company, he finds one that is undervalued relative to its intrinsic value. So what I'm saying is people look to make money, right? So you buy, you don't just buy to wear, you buy something else to invest to make money.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm right. I will bring this back and say I was right if it does happen. But what I'm saying is,
Die on that hill.
everyone, like, things become popular for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there absolutely no chance ever that those shoes could become as popular?
Nah, I feel like there would need to be an entire dynamic switch. There's so many different pairs of Jordan 1 highs that when they get made in either a collaboration or a retro of a specific colorway, because those are the pairs that kind of hold the most value. The pairs that are being retroed, which means like they're coming back, because the Jordan 1 Chicago, like the Lost and Found that just came out a couple days ago, the reason people are going fucking apeshit over them is because they're a Chicago colorway silhouette, like that red and white
you get 'em?
classic. I did. It was not a shoe this year that I was gonna miss. I've reached that point where it's like there's certain shoes where I've accepted if I get them at retail, amazing. If I get them at resale, I'm just gonna buy one and I'm gonna enjoy them. But that was one of the shoes that I definitely wasn't about to skip. But on that topic, it's just like when some people do a collab or when there's that retro, like if there's not, a specific story behind it, it doesn't make it as appealing. You know what I mean? Like anytime that I feel that there's a story behind something, it kind of makes you actually want it more because you can actually align the product with your values or something that you actually agree with. Like my favorite pair of Jordan 1s, my favorite shoes of Jordan 1, my favorite pair specifically is the Nigel Sylvester Jordan 1. He's a black BMX rider, and first of all, you don't really see many black dudes like using a BMX bike.
Wasn't this Nija?
Just skateboarder.
No, Nigel.
Oh, skateboarder.
Yeah, he's yeah. And when he did that pair, there are certain things that kind of just align with my values. Like if I'm picking a shoe, I need something that's versatile. You know what I mean? And the color scheme of this was like all cream. So it's just like, it's not white. It's not like tan. So it'll go with multiple fits. And then it's like, what's the material? This pair was all leather, so I know it's going to be easy to clean. It's not going to crease too crazy if I get the right size. And then it's like, what are the details? And that shoe for me, like, had just a few just green check marks. It's like the additional mini swoosh at the toe box, the effect of the shoe looking like it's already been worn, which for me is a plus. If I'm going to beat the hell out of my pair anyways and it already looks worn, it's like, great, this is going to last me even longer and I'm going to get even more utility out of it. And then the subtle details, like the medial, I believe that's the term, the inside swoosh is actually reflective. So they remove the outside swoosh, is kind of just like painted. The inside swoosh is 3M reflective. So it's like the subtle details. So if you are in a moment where someone catches a picture of them with flash, you actually see them light up. So it's just like, to me, it kind of it fell in line with some of the things that I kind of look for if I'm a big fan of something, and that to me is why it kind of became one of my favorite shoes. But you don't really see that with mids. Mids is just like, it's there to kind of fill the gap. I mean, if you're looking at it from an economist point of view, it's just like you'd be as a business, as a brand, you'd be missing a whole bunch of opportunity if people want a Jordan 1, but they can't get it or it's not readily available. So like she had said, like mids are kind of always available. And so if you want that Jordan 1 and you want that aesthetic, if you're wearing it with a pair of jeans that's going to cover the top of the shoe, you can't tell if it's a mid or a high or a low in some scenarios depending on what you're wearing. So it still kind of appeases to that consumer, that one who just wants it for the aesthetic and not necessarily for the entire story. And that's why I feel like there's that disconnect between like, that's kind of how like this whole, in my opinion, all this resale shit kind of started, because there's people who want it for the aesthetic because they saw it wearing it, and then there's people who kind of want it because of the story that's affiliated to the shoe, or they grew up on it or things of that nature.
So let me ask you, if you're affiliated with if you're in tune with the story and the actual shoe itself, does it matter if it's a high or a mid then? If it's more
That's
about
what I was going to
story.
ask. Isn't the story about the type of shoe, the high, mid, or low is the same shoe, right?
That's definitely a huge part of it. But don't you have a red flag if you meet this chick and like, yo, what would be this red flag if you meet this chick and
She's actually a man.
Well, there you go.
But Jordan's also not coming out with a low, mid, and high that are all the same. When they're doing a drop, they're coming out with one drop, and it's just like Jordan High, Retro 1, Chicago, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's like a whole thing. They're not coming out with that exact same shoe in the mid version necessarily.
So has there ever
They're
been a
going to
mid?
come out with they're going to come out with an alternative version that's very similar to it.
Yeah, there's been
so the
mids-
high, the mid, the low are all different.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, sometimes they could, but like most of the time it's all individual to the actual type of shoe. So someone's going for the shoe, they're going for the high. And because they're going for that high, because it's the Travis Scott, blah, 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 this and that.
Right. There's a story to it. Now, when a mid gets released, what name does it have?
A different name.
Sometimes
But
mids
right,
get
but hang
collabs.
on a second, because I understand what you're saying, but what you're doing is like you're omitting facts. So you're saying that they released the high, it's the Travis Barker. Okay, so then when the mid comes out, what's a mid
Scott.
called? There's a name for it, right?
No one's buying a Travis
Yeah, but no
Barker.
one's
Travis
behind
Scott.
a mid. No
Travis
one has
Scott,
been
whatever.
behind.
Oh, it
Maybe
matters.
someone will
It
come out with a
matters.
mid in a story one day to make it a thing. But the thing what I have seen with Jordans in general, we're just talking about one specific shoe. It's become a culture.
Jordan 1s specifically.
And Jordan 1 specifically is what I'm speaking about.
Sorry. Anyways, there's a weird coincidence. Manoa, there's an article about Manoa that just came out.
Love that guy.
Went at Garrett Cole, called him a cheater.
Good. when that whole thing happened, when AK accidentally hit Mr. Judge in that upper shoulder, and then Garrett Cole stepping out, and then AK said that thing about, oh, if you really want to say something, Garrett, just walk past the Audi sign.
Yeah.
Dude, got me fired up.
Wait,
That's
wait.
also because I went to
Chills.
the chills. This guy's taking us all the
Like
way.
in front of like the. He basically said like, if you want to say something, just walk past that line. I'm here.
Like you were so close, just
Yeah.
walk past the
He's
Audi.
like, he's
sign.
basically calling him a fake tough guy. I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly. That's it.
Heavy duty line. Walk past the Audi sign. It's gangster.
Exactly.
The only thing that's why I'm just trying to understand because like
With the mids do get collabs, and there's actually been a couple significant pairs that have come out in mid fashion, and some people do care, some people don't care. Because I can run through like Melody Asani, this female creative and influencer on IG. She's got a dope pair of mids. There's this brand.
Are they
out in
only
Asia-
mids or are they everything?
Only mids.
Okay,
only
so-
mids. And then Clot, this company out in Asia, also has a collab with.
Are those little bear-looking things?
Pardon me?
Claw, those little bear-looking
Clot.
statues?
No, that's Cause.
Oh, okay.
That's by I think Brian Donnelly is his name. Yeah, so Clot, CLOT. They've done collabs with different Jordan silhouettes, but they also did a Jordan 1. They also did an Air Force 1 as well. But they also got a mid to kind of answer that question. And to some people, it's the design, it's the story. Because I know the Clot Jordan 1 mid, and the Clot Air Force 1 low kind of had a similar narrative where it was doing like this tapestry type of vibe to the shoe that wore away. And to some people, it's appealing, and to some people, they don't really care. So I love the story regardless, but whether or not I'd actually wear it, that's when I have to do like the fat check. Okay, does this fit the criteria? Otherwise, you'll just end up in a rabbit hole. That's how you meet people who say like, oh yeah, I've got 200 pairs of shoes. It's like, well, it's like having 200 kills.
I can use. I guess like I only have one last point. I can summarize it with a little bit of an example, comparable. I bought a watch a couple years ago, and it was a watch that I didn't think I would buy, but I love the story behind it.
What watch?
I'm not gonna say on there, but I'll tell you after.
All right.
I bought a watch, and I love that. To me, I'm the same way. If something has a story, humans get attached to stories, right? Because you associate with it.
Yeah.
I had done no research on the resale value on anything. This is pre COVID as well, so like there was no big resale market for watches at the time. At the time, and I bought it because I really liked the story behind it. Fast forward 1 year later, watch is discontinued. The model that I got specifically discontinued. They made new ones, but different style. So now I have one of the last years, or the last year possible for the watch. So yes, resale value goes up. But the point is, I guess, and again, I don't know sneakers. I'm just speaking generally with supply and demand. Right now, mids might not be that popular. But things change, facts change, people's opinions, likes, and preferences change all the time. We might hit a recession. People say, I can't afford those ones or those highs. I'm going to buy the mids because I still want to look cool and have that sneaker. And demand goes like this and price goes like this.
No, agreed. But
That's
what
the
I
only
was saying
point.
is the
That's an
culture.
People sell by
Things
lows.
change.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Right, in the comments point
no,
of
but
view,
certain
certain colorways you can't get.
I know what George is saying. George is saying in the sense that right now the mids are like the fucking shitty
the
little
shit,
brother.
yeah.
But who's to say that?
Step brother.
Let's say Steph Curry leaves Under Armour, starts fucking rocking J's soon, and he's just rocking mids
Mids,
because
or
that's his preference.
Well, in my
and all these little 13-year-olds who love Steph Curry start rocking mids.
And the
10 years
resale might
later,
not be good now,
these
but-
13-year-olds are now 23 and they own this fucking.
And
sneaker
they're
brand.
pouring bottles on the floor. They're making money, and then they're trying to get money
Again,
and resell.
It's not a no. It's a possibility. Just I personally don't see that happen. Yeah, but again, you could.
But you're right. I am speaking strictly from a supply
Collect
demand.
some fucking mids then, buddy.
You can always find money.
I like Lowe's. I just like me personally. I like the way they look. Like even Air Forces. I've don't have many, but I'm
Uptowns
always a
are a
Lowe's.
classic.
You see those right there? Those the orange ones right there, white and orange, beside the bar.
Those are cute.
They're not bad.
Okay, so the Nigels actually have something similar with that mini swoosh. I feel like that did really. I don't know what other shoe. Yeah, that mini swoosh has done.
You don't know what other
That's a
shoe?
knockoff
Details.
swoosh.
That one, no, Foot Locker.
He actually bought these from Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Shout out to Foot Locker.
I walked in the store one day and I was like, "Oh, those are cool J's." They're like, "Yeah, we just got them yesterday." I was like, "Oh, you're not sold out?" They're like, "No." I was like, "You got a pair of 10.5s?"
See, we need to come.
Those
back
aren't
to that.
Jordans, but
You know what's interesting? I'm the biggest Nike homer. Like first stock I ever owned was Nike.
Yeah, George is.
For all my workout wear athleisure is
Yep.
Nike only. Nike and now Lululemon shorts, but Nike only shoes.
Yeah,
Nike.
Lululemon also makes the best boxers. I'll die on that hill too.
I don't want the boxer, but they run.
Underwear ever.
Best ever.
As
Really?
a girl too, like
Dude,
unreal.
Good to know. Good to know.
One of my clients. Fun story. Now that we've opened this can of worms, one of my clients, he used to only wear Supreme boxers. You know what I mean?
Rich.
You know, if you can afford it, go ahead, do your thing. I'm not gonna argue.
Oh, for sure.
As soon as I told him, just like, yo, bro, you know you're really just buying Hanes boxers. You need to try these Lululemon boxers. Because when I tell you, it is a magical sensation that kind of just hugs your hips and your area and your junk. It takes good care of your junk. It's like coat check for your junk. Except you don't lose your shit. So, it's great. Lulu boxers.
Yeah, Lululemon, good stuff. Their stuff is actually honestly very good quality. But yeah, what I was getting at with Nike, sneakers I never got into. The only sneakers I wear in the summer is a pair of white Air Forces, but typically a pair of white Air Maxes.
Classic.
I got Air Forces first because everyone had Air Forces. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cool. But I got Air Maxes, gives me a little bit of height, looks kind of a little more sporty.
Air Maxes I tried getting into, I really did, and there are some collabs that I also was really a big fan of, and like OG colorways. But it's just for me, I've got a wide foot, so
Same.
once again, that's also a decision sometimes with figuring out a pair that you're gonna.
you know when I feel like everyone got into Air Forces in high school as part of like your uniform. You
That
have to wear
was-
all
yeah,
black
black
shoes, and I literally I never buy all black shoes. I had a pair of. I went to the mall. I remember in like grade 9 or 10 when our principal switched over to a different one, and he became more lax. Like when Sheridan left,
yeah.
and whoever took over, I was like, "This is my chance." I went to the mall, bought black Air Force lows because you couldn't get away with the highs, obviously back in the day. And I wore them for like I think like a month till I finally got caught one day, and that was. Yeah.
But black Air Forces are one of those shoes that like they're not necessarily frowned on in the sneaker community, but it's just like, yo, if you're wearing black Air Forces, you're choosing violence. Like those memes of like Giannis during the playoffs, him having like a fucking 40-point game.
He wore
You
black
see-
Air Forces?
Black Air Forces.
Shut up! Did he actually? Or is
You'd,
this just like a meme?
you'd have to find the exact pick of like which pregame
Danny,
pick.
Yanni, Air Force,
Giannis.
go off.
Giannis. Yeah, I wore Air Forces in high school. That was when I first started wearing them. But then I stopped wearing them for a long time, probably until a couple summers ago. Yeah. I wore Fat Farms for a while in high school. Yeah. Not recent, like in high school. Yeah.
Fat Farm had
Yeah.
shoes.
I did
Yeah.
Fat Farm.
They had like a puffy ass tongue.
My mom had them. Like
Baby blue Fat Farms.
that
They're
screams
brutal.
Woodbridge.
I'm from Richmond Hills, so close.
Close enough. York region.
Probably should have found out who that was if I buzzed them in, but whatever.
On that note, Danny, what are we at?
Yeah, good. Let me see. I gotta
What are we at?
Manoa.
Got to wrap up.
Yeah.
On that note, fuck, it's a pleasure. Been too long since we caught up.
I know.
We always just run into each other at clubs and shit.
I know. And then say to each other that we mutually agreed or not, so that we saw each other out
Yeah,
in case we needed an alibi.
that's it.
You never know.
Never know. Anyways,
know.
people want to learn more about you, your sneakers, fashion. If they want to get some of your services, where can they go? How can they find you?
Instagram at KINGKHALY, and my website will go live. I think actually I'll have it ready by this weekend. Khaleel KHALEEL Washington.com.
All right,
Dope.
done. We made it to the end. We appreciate you.
Go buy some mids. Let's go.
I did not co-sign that.